Good news for seniors, retirees. Joe Biden is ready to take action, everybody. He has confirmed that he would like to raise benefits again for Social Security. But this benefit boost may lead to higher taxes for some people. And now lawmakers are discussing the biggest issue that Social Security is facing. Joe Biden has plans and shared his plan to Democrats, and everyone else in America is ready for this proposal to reverse Social Security's more than $20 trillion estimated funding shortfall. According to experts, Social Security is more than for 66 million monthly beneficiaries. 2023 is a pretty good year to get your stimulus, and 2023 is also a good year to get the Social Security raise and blood boost. Retired workers, survivors, and the long-term disabled received their largest COLA on a percentage basis in 41 years, and the biggest boost to their monthly benefit payout in the nominal dollar terms in the program's storied history. Unfortunately, this victory for retirees is bound to be short-lived. And that means that that's because Social Security is facing a massive long-term funding shortfall that's been growing larger and larger every single year. With each passing year, the stimulus seems unlikely, but Joe Biden believes he has a solution to this, a solution to Social Security's long-term funding issue. The Democrats is the answer. The Republicans can be the answer. But it's important to understand just how big of a deficit the program is facing over the long-term run, as well as what factors are fueling this funding shortfall. Since the 40s of 1940, the Social Security Board of Trustees has released an annual report detailing the health of the program. The report, which is often in excess of 200 pages, provides a comprehensive history of every dollar collected by Social Security, as well as where each of these dollars are distributed. For more than 8 decades, it also makes predictions as the future solvency of Social Security based on fiscal policy, and a host of ever-changing demographic factors is coming into play. According to the 2022 Trustees Report, the program is estimated $20 trillion short of its funding needs through 2096. In other words, that payouts, if it were to continue, are going to be more than $20 trillion funding gap between 2022 and 2096. If this shortfall isn't resolved by raising additional revenue, cutting outlays, or some combination of the two, retired workers and survivor benefits could be slashed by 23% in 2034. But the Trustees Report, everybody, has been highlighting the program's lack of sufficient long-term funding every year since 1985. This widening deficit for the program has to do with different demographic shifts, including the ongoing retirement of baby boomers, historical low birth rates, and widening income inequality. Prior to being elected president, Biden has released a 4-point policy that he proclaimed would strengthen America's top retirement program by extending its insolvency. Right now, Biden seeks to increase payroll taxation on the wealthy, boost the special minimum benefit for lifetime low earners, raise benefits, and shift the COLA to tether the consumer price index for the elderly. Biden has remained adamant that he won't approve any legislation that reduces Social Security benefits, but Republicans are miles apart from Democrats when it comes to fixing Social Security. Although both parties agree that a resolution is needed to strengthen the program, neither side has been willing to find anything resembling common ground with their opposition, just as the Biden administration vowed to veto any legislation that would seek to increase full retirement age and lower lifetime benefits for future generations. Now, Republicans have expressed opposition to specifically targeting the high earners as a means to raise additional revenue for Social Security. Another problem the president will run into is that gaining the necessary votes in the upper house of Congress. Amending Social Security requires 60 votes in the Senate, everybody, but it's been 44 years since that happened. What can Joe Biden do now? Will he make it happen this year in 2023? Or will he have to wait another decade for another stimulus check?
For the wealthiest people in this country, it was caused by a recession as a result of the greed, recklessness, and illegal behavior on Wall Street. And if those are the causes of the deficit and the national debt, I will be damned if we're going to balance the budget on the backs of the elderly, the sick, the children, and the poor.
Unexpected updates from the federal government. Millions of people may lose Medicaid coverage starting in 2023. There's a big change coming to Medicaid benefits. Economists and lawmakers are even urging that Congress approve more of the relief funds. A massive spending bill everybody has just passed in Congress. It will allow the states to kick some people off Medicaid starting in April. And according to estimates from the administration, This is something important to look at, because the reality is that millions of people are going to lose Medicare coverage. Medicaid is going to disappear. And since the crisis first began, enrollment in Medicaid, the health insurance program for low income, has already swelled 71 million to 90 million. So that's a 20 million increase. And so when the Biden administration first declared a public health emergency, it also barred states from kicking people off Medicaid. In a normal year, many people enroll in Medicaid, and many others leave as their income or circumstances change. States run routine checks on Medicaid members just to make sure they're still eligible for the program. So, and they don't want to throw out the people who are not. The public health emergency has halted the process. The recently passed spending bill would allow states to start kicking off people off the Medicaid coverage April 1st. The federal government will also notify people and wind down extra funds to states for the added enrollees over the next year under this proposal. Before states remove Medicaid members, they are required to check patients' eligibility and notify people that are losing coverage. So, advocates have also raised concerns about how states will notify enrollees if they are being kicked off the program and what their options are. The effort will particularly challenge for some of the country's poorest people who may have not a stable home address or access to internet or phone services. This is a problem, and so you have to check the status. Because even the omnibus spending bill allows states to drop people from Medicaid starting in April 1st. It will most likely take a little bit longer. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid have recommended that states take a full year to reevaluate everyone in the program, although states are not required to follow that guidance. Many people who lose Medicaid will be able to find other health insurance programs through an employer, the Affordable Care Act marketplace, or in the case of health insurance, but up to 5 million people remain uninsured, which is a potentially devastating situation. Healthcare advocates urge people who are on Medicaid to make sure their contact information is up on date and that they check the mail frequently just to keep an eye out on their eligibility status before April 1st becomes happening. The bill also frees up additional funds to pay for more stable health insurance coverage for children in low-income households. It does so by requiring to keep those children on Medicaid for at least a year once they are already enrolled. So I actually agree with that, and I think it's a good idea for that to happen. But not only that, folks, listen to this. Even though there are several advocacy groups and even lawmakers worried about low-income households, including seniors, many agree that additional relief should be provided to help those that are struggling financially, and that's a really good idea. Because family budgets could also even be more stretched in 2023 as we battle high inflation, fueled prices, and interest rates. Because that happens, a long list of temporary tax breaks were designed to shore up and even boost household wealth during the crisis. Taxpayers won't even see many of those same generous benefits on the tax returns this year, and there's a more return of a normal return if you have some key tax breaks. Analysts even say it's hard to say how much federal state income taxes could be for some households, but the amount will be sizable for many. And according to the most recent filing stats from the IRS, through the week of October 28th, the average tax refund was already $3,000 in 2022. That's up